Hello. Welcome to this new session where I will try to explain ESG simply. ESG is not just reporting. ESG is about how companies take decisions that affect business, society, and the environment. If you don't understand this difference, you don't really understand ESG. Hello, I am Dr. Ravi Sharma. I welcome back to EcoBriefs Academy. In this video, I will explain ESG in the simplest possible way, especially from the Indian corporate context. Now, what does ESG actually mean? ESG stands for environment, social, and governance, but ESG is not just three alphabets. ESG is a framework that helps organizations answer one key question. Are we creating value responsibly and sustainably? Now, ESG is a framework to answer one key question. Are we creating value responsibly and sustainability? This question moves ESG from a checklist to a core element of corporate strategy. Now, why do companies adopt ESG? Companies adopt ESG for four practical reasons. One is risk management, which talks about climate risk, regulatory risk, reputational risk, operational risk, etc. Investor expectations, capital increasingly flows toward ESG aligned companies. Regulatory compliances, especially in India, ESG disclosure is becoming mandatory. Long term business resilience, ESG helps companies survive future disruptions. So it's a regulatory compliance. Then fourth, long-term business resilience. ESG help companies survive future disruptions. So overall, ESG is not charity. It is a strategic management. Now, beyond compliance, ESG as a strategic force multiplier, we need to understand that it helps in building trust. It helps in reducing environmental footprints. So the overall question is why there is need for adoption of ESG framework. An ESG framework is both an enabler and an amplifier for organization to start translating their intent into action. A strong ESG strategy is a force multiplier and helps business in planning strategic growth journeys for a sustainable business. There are a number of global studies that show that companies that embed ESG into their core businesses practices outperform their peers. Now, preserving environment, ESG helps business reduce their environmental footprint and meet consumer demands more responsibly. This includes incorporation of environmentally friendly measures such as relying on renewable resources of energy and recycling materials, and also ensure that waste generation and management is handled in an accountable manner. It helps build trust with stakeholders. ESG helps demonstrate commitment to corporate responsibility and helps build trust with both internal and external stakeholders. Companies choosing to self comply with international reporting and disclosure standards can increase transparency into their operations and apply for ESG ratings, which provide critical insights for ESG conscious investors and consumers. Investors' attraction and better access to capital is again an important benefit for companies who are into ESG practice. ESG has been increasingly embraced as a key factor in investment decisions, and conscious investors seek about companies that are proactive in addressing sustainability goals in their operations. Companies with strong ESG performance are therefore more likely to secure financing and investments, ensuring access to capital even in changing environmental and political conditions. It helps avoid non-compliances and penalties for entities mandated to comply with regulatory requirements. ESG ensures adherence to these evolving requirements, thereby helping a startup to avoid legal and financial penalties amongst many other challenges faced. It helps to distinguish by demonstrating strong ESG adaptation. Consumers and investors are able to recognize the startup as a responsible entity that is concerned with sustainable growth and development. It further showcases the company's alignment with stakeholder values and expectations, thereby fostering trust and loyalty. Better employee retention is another benefit. ESG also creates a sense of community within the workplace by focusing on common values and help improve the work environment. In order to attract and retain talent and satisfy consumer expectations, companies have begun to embed sustainability practices into their businesses. ESG in Indian context, if we talk about in India, ESG reporting is linked to business responsibility and sustainability reporting, collectively known as BRSR. Now, BRSR is mandated by the market regulators, Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, for top listed companies. BRSR focuses on how companies operate, not just what they claim. In terms of environmental performance, social responsibility, governance processes, this BRSR is important and provides a ESG lens. So think of BRSR as India's structured ESG lens. BRSR focuses on performance, not promises. BRSR focuses on how companies operate. As I already said, it does not focus on what they have claimed. The strategic importance of ESG has created a surge in demand for skilled professionals across corporate advisories and financial sectors, which provides a new frontier of opportunity. So overall, ESG is creating real jobs. ESG as a career opportunities. Now let's talk about careers because ESG is creating real jobs. It includes ESG analysts, sustainability reporting managers, climate and risk officers. Now, what ESG is all about? There are certain myths that we need to discuss. Let me bust some common myths. So ESG is only reporting? Wrong. ESG influences strategy and capital allocation. ESG is optional, not anymore. Regulations and investors are driving it. ESG is only for large companies? False, totally false. SMEs will increasingly be impacted in the field of ESG. Now, ESG journey from global concept to your career. A robust ESG strategy is a strategic force multiplier, as we have already discussed. ESG careers require credibility, it's not buzzwords. So, a better decision making framework, ESG will provide you, going beyond reporting to influence core business choices, E, S, and G. It provides you a business imperative driven by risk management, investor demand, and the pursuit of long term resilience. An Indian mandate, if we talk in terms of Indian BRSR system, it's solidified by SEBI's BRSR framework for top companies. And at the end, it is a professional opportunity, creating credible, high impact careers across industries. In summary, I have introduced you ESG, environmental, social, and governance, as a vital decision making framework rather than a simple reporting exercise. Modern businesses must integrate these three pillars to manage risk, boost confidence among investors, and ensure long term resilience. In the specific Indian context, BRSR mandate by SEBI, which requires top companies to provide transparent sustainability disclosures. So beyond compliance, a robust ESG strategy acts as a strategic force multiplier that helps organizations attract capital, retain talented employees, and build trust with stakeholders. So ESG is reshaping how companies are evaluated, financed, and governed globally and in India too. So if you want to a deep dive into ESG careers, Comment ESG in the comments. And for clear, credible sustainability education, please subscribe to EcoBriefs Academy. I will see you in the next video where we will talk about in details of BRSR and its framework. Thank you.